Okay, this is my third time trying to film this video. First my eyes started watering, then my nose started running. So anyways, hi. My name is Inky Flame, or Chloe, whatever you prefer. And what's up? It's been a while. I was home for the Easter holidays. I think I filmed one video when I was home. So it's been a while. I'm back at uni now. I did try and film another video when I was home, but I didn't really get much time alone, so I tried to film this video when I was in, when my parents and everyone was in bed, but it wasn't great because I was trying to be quiet and quick because, you know, I don't want to disturb anyone, and in my house there's no kind of privacy. People would just burst in if they came downstairs, so I think I'll try and refilm that when I can. So I also want to try and get like a permanent place that I'm happy with filming, because I don't have any shelves in this room. I really want to find a place where I can film with shelves, because I want to show off like my doll collection. And I think the last time I showed you, I only had two dolls. I had my porcelain doll Snow White and my Raggedy Ann doll Annie. But that I've got a new addition, so you know, I like charity shopping. The clothes are really cheap and the money goes to a good cause, so I like to go and have a look around quite a lot. And if you're familiar with charity shopping, they normally have it's mostly clothes, but then they normally have a little section that's just like objects, random objects that they sell. And I found this beauty, a nice porcelain doll. Her name is Paula. I'm not sure how old she is, but she's got like a certificate of authenticity. I forgot the word. And now she's just gonna like creepily stare at me while I film this video. So today I'm gonna be doing the tag Get to Know Your Witches. I've never done a tag video before, so this is new. I decided to do it after watching Anya Esma, who's another witchy YouTuber, and she's great, so I recommend checking her out. This was created by Little Cosmic Crow, I think. It's just a set of 15 questions that I'll answer as honestly as I can. And I tag, well, I want to tag my friend Chloe in this just as a bit of an idea for her, because she has a small channel as well. And she's also the one who does all my thumbnails. So I will link her channel down below. I've got my grape juice. I mean, how cool is this skull cap? I got such a fascination with skulls and skeletons. I think it started when I started reading this book series called Skullduggery Pleasant, which is about like a magical skeleton detective. And yeah, I definitely recommend that book series. But anyways, on to the first question. Does your sun sign / zodiac sign portray you correctly? If not, do your other planetary signs? Now, I don't know too much about the zodiac. I only kind of know what I think everyone knows publicly. So I just wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about. So I went to astrologyzodiacsigns.com to find out more about my sign, and I'm a Gemini. And apparently a Gemini's lucky numbers are 5, 7, 14 and 23. Now 5 rung out to me because my birthday is the 5th of June, and my younger brother and sister, their birthdays also fall of the 5th of the month, whichever month their birthdays is. Like I tell that to people, and everyone like is like amazed that we were all born on the 5th. And then I met my boyfriend, so we started talking, and also I found out when his birthday was, and his birthday's the 5th of like his month, so that was quite a coincidence. Apparently a Gemini's strengths are that they're gentle, affectionate, curious, adaptable, learn quickly, and exchange ideas. I think most people would describe me as gentle and affectionate, especially like my boyfriend. I am definitely a curious person. I tend to be quite nosy. I am adaptable in certain circumstances. Like it's not difficult for me to make friends, but it's difficult for me to kind of open up. I'm quite a quiet person naturally. But say I moved to a completely different country to do university, and that took a lot of guts. But I can like adapt like that. I've become more independent. Learning quickly, I'm not so sure because my memory is honestly awful, and I do tend to exchange ideas on things that I am passionate about. Apparently, a Gemini's weaknesses now they're nervous, inconsistent, and indecisive. And I can basically get behind all of those. I am a very nervous person, part of the reason why I'm so quiet. I'm inconsistent in the way that I find it difficult to stick with certain things. Like, I can't think of any specific examples, but say like I set myself like a thing of like a week of revising, and I set each day out. I kind of have a tough time like sticking with that. But also with the indecisiveness, I'm a very indecisive person. Like when I had my prom at end of school, and me and Mum went to prom dress shopping, and I knew what dress I wanted straight away, and she jokes that that was like the first decision that I ever made without, being really conflicted about that. Since then, though, I think the only other big decision that I made without any kind of a doubt is to go out with my boyfriend because he asked me first. And it was really sweet, and we're here almost 2 years later. This article goes on to say that we're expressive, quick-witted, sociable, communicative, I can't say that word, and ready for fun, but we suddenly get serious, thoughtful, and restful. And I could definitely see that I am expressive in the way that I dress. Normally, my mum would call it a bit weird, but I like all my jewelry, I like my tattoos. Some of the stuff I wear, you could say I'm quite expressive. I could be quite witted in certain circumstances, especially when I'm like having banter with my sister. I could be sociable in certain circumstances and stuff. I can get very serious, thoughtful and restless. Like it's hard to explain, but all that really sums me up. Apparently, Geminis are good writers and journalists. I really wanted to write a book when I was younger, and I have started many kind of novels that I never got around to finishing. But anything, I'd rather write, if I'm revising, I'd rather write down the notes rather than like copy and paste and like learn from a screen. I really like writing. I apparently want to experience the world. And this is definitely true, especially when I was younger and I was into Skullduggery Pleasant, the book I mentioned earlier, because it's all set in Ireland. And I always would say, oh, I'd love to live in Ireland, but I'd also say that I'd love to live in this, that, and the other country. My parents would, it would kind of become a bit of a family joke because I just wanted to, like, live everywhere. I've calmed down a bit since then. But apart from that, yeah, I think the traits of a Gemini kind of sum me up. I don't know anything about my other planetary signs. It's definitely somewhere where I should, look into a bit more. Because it interests me. I just love learning. So the second question. What song brings you the most magical vibes? There's not one song in particular, but any song by, I think this is how you say it, Damp the Bard. He does a lot of kind of pagan-y kind of music, and I listen to that a lot when I'm home in particular, and it lifts my energy, and I dance around a lot to it. I really like dancing, and I'll just dance around my kitchen or my garden, like when I'm back home from uni. But there's also Rhiannon by Fleetwood Mac. I've been getting into Fleetwood Mac a lot recently, but Rhiannon, the song, is based off a Welsh mythological figure. I don't know whether she's a goddess or not, but she definitely appears in the set of Welsh tales, the Mabinogion, which I started making a video about And I will continue making videos about like each tale because they do get quite long, so I'll probably do a video for each tale. But funnily enough, Stevie Nicks, the singer from Fleetwood Mac, after songs like Rhiannon came out, people started not accusing her, but they'd say she was a witch, and she did try and change her image and get away from that association, so I thought that was quite interesting. Okay, question 3. Which one of your deities, guides, ancestors is the most sarcastic with you? If this doesn't apply to you, which tarot deck does? I don't really work with deities, guides, or ancestors, although it's something that I do really want to get into. I haven't had the motivation. And I don't do tarot very much to have these kind of scenarios, but there's one story. So it was either my first or second year at uni, because I'm in my third now, and my uni's pagan society did a tarot workshop where they invited in a guy who's lovely to like read people's tarot, because he was very knowledgeable about the subject, and he was like, oh, if you've got your own tarot deck, bring it in. So I brought my only one at the time. I won't say which one it is, but since then I've bought another deck, and I've also got my boyfriend's, which he's lent me to like practice, which is really sweet. But he asked to look at it, and I gotta admit, it's one of the ones where it comes with a little leaflet and it's not the easiest to read, as it just says, oh, those are the kind of tarot cards I hate. So the 4th question is, what's your biggest witchy mess up / interpretation? Now I take this as meaning what I've misinterpreted. So before I actually became a witch, I always associated the pentacle as a symbol for kind of summoning demons, and just kind of like it had negative connotations for me. And it was before I became a witch, and after, well, I was in my first year of college, I think. An old friend who I don't talk to anymore, I think he was just a massive Supernatural fan. He was telling me, oh no, it's not for that, and I didn't quite listen to him. Then my second year of college, or I think it was the end of my first year of college, came around, and we were reading Tess of the D'Urbervilles, and they were on about some kind of god, and my lecturer brought up the term paganism. And I heard that from somewhere else, like this anime I watched. So I did some research, that like I obviously came across the pentacle and what it meant, and that's when I knew that my friend was he knew what he was talking about, but at the end of the day he was just a big nerd. He wasn't like into this stuff, I don't think. Question number 5. Would you write a book on your craft / spirituality, and why? Okay, so I would write a book because I've always, not always, but definitely in my teenage years, I really wanted to write a book. I wanted to write fantasy stuff, and the books that I did start writing were all based off dreams of mine. But if I was to write a book on my craft / spirituality, I am obviously Welsh, and deities is something I definitely would want to look into. So I would probably write a book tailored towards like Welsh deities and Welsh mythology, and kind of tailor that to the whole witchcraft thing. It's probably strange, but as the Welsh would say, I feel a strong sense of hiraeth, and hiraeth isn't exactly a homesickness, but it's just this strong yearning, and I guess you could say, I don't know how to explain it, but I'm very proud to be Welsh. My boyfriend doesn't understand it, but there's just something about being in Wales that kind of awakes something in me. So I would definitely write a book based on something to do with Welsh mythology. Question 6. If someone wanted to summon you to their circle, what 5 items would they need? So I had to think, and I could actually think of more than 5 items. But I thought number 1 on the list would be Scrumpy. And for those who don't know, Scrumpy is basically cider, but it's a bit stronger. Cider tends to be about 4-5%, but Scrumpy is like 6-7%. I've had cider, but I consider it Scrumpy, that's like 8.2%. Interesting experience, but yeah, I really like Scrumpy. A black cat, because cats are adorable. And I'll tell you about that in another question, actually. A goat is one of my favourite animals. Like, my boyfriend rolls his eyes at it, but I really want a pet goat. And there's a place in South Wales called Folly Farm, and it just started out as a farm, and it still has a farm there, but it's expanded into a zoo, and there's an old indoor vintage fair that's there all the time, and you can kind of adopt animals. You get like a small toy, and you get like a free annual pass. My dad and my sister have done it. They've both adopted penguins for their birthdays as kind of like a gift, but I just said they have all these animals. You can adopt a sloth, a penguin, all these exotic animals, and I just said I want to adopt a goat, so that would be cool. Bread, because I am such a big bread lover. I eat so much bread when I probably shouldn't. Like, my housemate and my boyfriend were talking at like the Halloween party we had, as my housemate just said, oh, you should just give her a bouquet of bread, because yeah, that would really impress me. And then the fifth thing is chicken nuggets, because I just love chicken nuggets. Everyone who knows me knows I like chicken nuggets. Okay, so 7th question, if I was a ghost, what places was I haunt? Now, if I unfortunately died very young, I'd probably haunt my dad and other people who are skeptics, just to prove, like, see, I was right about the ghosts. Like, my dad really doesn't believe it, and I would just like to show him that. Secondly, if I could haunt like an object, I would either haunt one of my dolls, probably my Raggedy Ann doll, or my stuffed leopard called Freckles. And Freckles has been like my favourite toy for the past 12-13 years. But if I just had to haunt like a place, like a specific place, I'd probably haunt the Gower, which is a lovely like coastal line of South Wales, and I think it's one of the most beautiful, I think it was named one of the most beautiful beaches in either Europe or the world or something like that. So look up the Gower, Gower, because it's beautiful down there. 8. What is the funniest way someone has reacted to finding out you are a witch? I've not necessarily had any funny reactions, but I remember when I was trying to like, it's nothing my parents have ever dealt with, so I tried to like ease them in. So I just asked Dad, can I have this Wicca for Beginners book? And at first he was like, that's weird, but I'm only gonna let you have this book because I know you like writing and stuff like that. He didn't mean any harm by it, but my parents have kind of come around the idea, and I don't know if my entire family knows that I'm pagan, and like at every family party I have to explain what paganism is. I don't know if any of my extended family know that I'm a witch, but it's always kind of like a family joke that when I get married, like everyone will have to dance around naked, so I guess that's kind of funny. Number 9. Do you have any superstitions? Now, my mum isn't religious or spiritual or anything like that. I think she believes there's something, but she's not sure what. She doesn't have many thoughts on it. But she's always kind of been a bit superstitious, and I've kind of inherited that. I've not kind of sat down and actively thought, oh yeah, I believe this and the other. But I will not walk under a ladder, and I would cringe if a mirror broke. So it's not that I believe it, it's just more of an instinctual thing I got from my mum. I used to think black cats were bad, or at least bad luck, but my stance has since changed, and that, like I said in my other question, that a black cat would summon me to your circle. I really want a pet black cat, and I don't know if you can see, but I've got like a black cat tattoo. So yeah, I really like black cats now, so I guess I am a bit superstitious, but I'm not like over the top. Number 10, if you could possess any fantasy magic, what would it be? hands down it would be shape-shifting, because you could change into anything. Say like you wanted the power of flight, you could turn into a bird, or I would turn into a wolf personally most of the time, because wolves are my favorite animals. And like, you could pretend to be someone else if you wanted to live in someone else's shoes, or you could like walk down the street being like a celebrity and you get like free stuff. I don't know, I'd probably be irresponsible with those kind of powers, but yeah. What is something random on your altar? I don't have anything random per se. Everything kind of has something to do with nature and witchcraft and stuff like that. But I guess the most random thing is I have a lot of pebbles, which I keep in a headscarf in my mortar and pestle thing. And they are all from Cornwall, more specifically Boscastle, because Boscastle in Cornwall has a witchcraft museum, and I visited there twice with my family. I kind of, every time we go to Cornwall, I nag them to go there. But I wanted to make my own runes, so, and they had loads of flat pebbles, so I just kind of picked them up. I didn't pick up too many. I couldn't make the runes, so they're just there on my. Also, maybe I'll come back to making runes at some point, but who knows. Number 12. If one of the YouTubers you watched was a genie and they could grant you 3 wishes within their power, who would it be and what wishes? And you can't ask for more wishes. This is probably going to be really obvious, but Harmony Nice, I would want as my genie because she is an absolute babe. And she's just lovely, and I would probably wish for all my tattoos to be free, especially since it's Harmony. I've got 3 tattoos currently, planning to get 2 more in the summer as kind of like a graduation gift for myself, but I want so many tattoos, and Harmony kind of, I like tattoos, and I had 2 tattoos before I started watching Harmony, but after watching her I really want more tattoos, so I thought that wish would be more appropriate for would be appropriate for her, because she's got loads of tattoos. I would wish for a small cottage, because that is my kind of ideal home. I want to be in a very rural area, living in a little cottage where I can have my animals and I can have like big gardens and stuff like that. And I think the last one would be a wish for many students, and that is no student debt, because you rack up so much student debt, and there's even like a rule in place, although I think it's getting removed, that if you've not paid it off within 30 years, they just completely scrap it, because it's so much money to like pay off. So I would probably get rid of all my student debt. Question 13. If you could instantly become an expert in any part of your craft / spirituality, what would it be? And probably anything paranormal. I would love to have more paranormal experiences and know a lot more about it. Even before I was a witch, like, paranormal stuff just fascinated me. My mum was really into Most Haunted, and although it scared me at first, I really liked watching it, to the point where mum had to ban me because I was having night terrors. But I know that show is a hoax. It's definitely not as good as some of the other ones out there. But I really want to learn more about the paranormal and have more paranormal experiences, especially with haunted dolls. I would love if one of my dolls turns out haunted. But like, my new doll Paula that I brought in, she does really give me the creeps, to the point where I considered actually putting her back in her box. And I thought, no, I can get over this. Like, the paranormal, I would love more experiences, but it would definitely scare me. 14. When you die, what do you think will happen to you / your soul? So, I believe in reincarnation. I love studying people. I'm a psychology student. And I've read up on instances where children, they start coming out with another language, or they start having these memories of like their past lives. And like, it really fascinates me. I think that's the most plausible thing. Like, I really have to believe in something and make some kind of logic in my head for it to, like, win me over. So I think we get reincarnated. But obviously, this kind of goes against the whole believing in the paranormal thing, because there are ghosts. I believe there are ghosts and spirits and stuff. So I personally think ghosts are the souls and spirits of people who are stuck. But if someone is like not stuck, I think they go to a place of rest for a bit before getting reincarnated into a new life. So that's at least what I think. I don't really know what happens. I don't think anyone knows what really happens after you die, but that's my personal take on it. Number 15, the last question. Where do you see yourself spiritually in the next 5 years? I try not to set myself too much of a goal, but I do want, if I want to be in my own place in 5 years, so I do want to have a herb garden that I actively use the herbs and stuff like that. And I also want to know more about divination. Like, I really want to get into palm reading and crystal ball scrying and like scrying just as a whole through different methods. I just want to learn more about everything, basically. So yeah, that is all the questions. I will probably put like all the questions down in the description, as well as my friend Chloe's channel. I'll probably link Anya Esma's channel too, because she's really cool. Like, I started watching her videos, and it's particularly useful, especially if you're someone like me who has like low motivation, or you need help with like journaling prompts and stuff like that. She's very knowledgeable and stuff, so I'll link her down too. So thank you everyone. I hope you have a great day. Bye.